So I feel like I'm going to sound like one of those people that, typically, older people, maybe Gen X, boomer age people that are like, oh, back in my day, we didn't have all this stuff. You could just, do this, or you could go get a hot dog for 10 cents or whatever. I don't know. My dad would always say something like that. But I can't help but feel like things are getting a little out of hand with the whole AI stuff. So I have so many thoughts on this, And this video is just going to be me ranting. It's just going to be me venting. It's just going to be me getting my thoughts out about this topic. You can share your thoughts down in the comment section below. But I just feel like with the rise of AI, which I think has been a thing for at least the past couple of years, I think it really started gaining traction in 2023. And then I didn't really start using it until 2025, which was just last year. And it's just so crazy how much it has expanded since then. And I can't even tell you how many times I have been pitched sponsorship ideas for AI software this, AI software that, everything is AI, turn everything into AI. Take one photo and then it makes a video for you. You can have them write your whole website, like everything is AI. And with somebody who has used things like ChatGPT, I feel like, and I'm going to be really honest in today's video. I know there's a whole thing about AI is terrible for the environment. That's a whole nother thing. But when it comes to the intelligence of actual human beings, I feel like it is going to take away so much from us. And I can't even imagine being a kid growing up with the availability of AI, because obviously that was not a thing when I was growing up, when I was a kid. But I remember there was something, it was all about plagiarizing. So you couldn't take information like exact copy and pasted of, somebody else's essay that was online or something like that. That was the whole thing, is plagiarizing. Some teachers, this specifically I feel like was more in like high school and college for me, where I think there were certain softwares that teachers could run papers through to see if it was plagiarized. And now I feel like they have things like that for AI. But the thing about it is that I feel like there's so many workarounds around it. You can have AI write something and you can just change up certain parts of it, and then it will pass through a AI detection software. So I can't even imagine having that as an option and going through life just as a kid, being able to have this at your fingertips whenever you want to. And I don't really know how it is in schools. I don't know if that, I'm assuming it is, because the amount of times that I would have a math homework and you have to show your work, I could imagine you probably could just ask AI to do that for you. You could just send a picture, how do I do this? Like the amount of not thinking, the lack of critical thinking skills, little by little, even just in the past couple of years, that the dependency on this, I think, is what's really scary. And I'll go into the business side in just a moment, but just as humans, as us, as people, the ability to think critically is so incredibly important. And honestly, I feel like that's, as I've gotten older, I realized that when I was in school growing up, even if it was things that I didn't necessarily care about, I didn't want to learn about geology or whatever it was, like it wasn't something that interested me. And I remember my dad had told me something and it has stuck with me. And as I've grown up and learned more, I've heard it more through other people, even in the business space, but mainly in kind of like the parenting space and podcasts that I listen to. But I remember complaining to my dad one day, we're never going to use this. That's always the pushback from kids, is I'm never going to use this in real life. And what's really interesting about learning and school is that it's not necessarily things that you are going to know or you're going to utilize in real life. But the whole purpose is that you're learning how to learn. And learning how to learn is extremely important. And I feel like AI really takes that away from us, is that we don't have that ability to think for ourselves and spend that extra time. I feel like with the rise of technology, again, I feel like, you know what I mean? With the rise of things like TikTok and Instagram shorts, and things are really quick and the attention spans are really, really, really low attention spans. And then we throw AI into the mix. And now AI can solve something for you in a matter of seconds that probably would have taken you half an hour, maybe over an hour to sit down and figure out. I remember when I first got started with candle making, and I would sit there and figure out cost of goods just individually. I would go through all the supply items, write it down, figure it out, do the formulas, figure out exactly my cost of goods. And now that's really not needed anymore. I mean, you can input all the information and get it there in just a second. And I was thinking about that the other day because I was trying to think of cost of goods on reed diffusers. And my first instinct was to just screenshot a couple of the products that I wanted to use, send it into chat and be like, can you tell me how much my cost of goods would be? And I think that moment kind of inspired this whole video, because I thought to myself, I'm like, okay, on one hand, I'm able to save time doing this so that I can work on something else. I get that. But I feel like over time, because we're, again, only a couple years into this, I don't know what the next 5, 10 plus years is going to look like. I don't know how much lack of patience we're going to have for the smallest amount of critical thinking. It's a little scary to me. And I have found myself relying way too much on this artificial intelligence. And I have really started to pull back, because I'm like, I don't want to rely on this thing as like almost like a networking friend, bouncing ideas, going back and forth with. Luckily, I do have friends in real life that I do that with in real life. But I feel like it just can be such a problem if you are relying so much on this technology, almost getting that validation, and it will validate you. That's what it's designed to do. Whoever created it knew exactly how to format it so that you want to keep coming back, so that you feel like it's validating you, it's saying all the right things, it is, there for you when you need it, it's giving you all the information that you could ever want and ever need. And I just feel like that is going to be a very big problem as we are continuing forward in life with all the developments that AI is getting, or AI is becoming. And one more thing I wanted to mention with the critical thinking aspect, because I think that this is the whole, there's a lot of problems, but this is a very, very big problem, because critical thinking, being able to think critically on your own, by yourself, in your own mind, without the input of anybody else, is really, we're losing that as people. It's becoming, what are other people thinking first? I found myself doing this, reading the comments first to get other people's take on it, and then you form your opinion. It's like the magnification of groupthink, and then you then take on that opinion of everybody else. And, I remember when I was in college, because I was in college for a couple years. This was back in 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. And I was always really good at writing and English when I was growing up. It was always my best subject. I excelled in it. I loved it. And I knew that I wanted to be an English teacher at one point. I kind of went back and forth between different careers that I wanted to do. But when I was in college, at one point, I was really pursuing English. And I took a class that was known to be a hard professor, and it was a critical thinking class. And it was by far the hardest class I've ever taken. And it completely changed the way that I wrote and thought. And the first paper that I turned in that semester, I got it back and I got a 71 on it. And I cried because I thought, but I'm good at writing. What do you mean? But the way that he changed the way that I saw writing was very needed. And it really made me think. I mean, I worked so hard and I would spend hours on essays and really putting pieces together. And that time that you're taking to put those pieces together, it's building up your brain. It's healthy for your brain. It's able to, really work your brain in the way that you need it to. And by the end of the semester, the last essay that I turned in, I got a 94 on. And that was, I think, the proudest moment. I think I still have that essay somewhere in my paper, like wherever it is. I have it somewhere, I think. And it really was just such a highlight of one of the educational experiences of my life, because it just was so, it made me feel so proud that I was able to work that hard. And I feel like AI nowadays is going to take that away from people, especially kids and people that are in school and college. And it's just going to be let's just get through this. Let's just send in everything to AI, get it done. And it's just going to take away so much from people. And when it comes to business stuff, I feel like it takes away a lot of creativity. I mean, I used to spend so much time trying to figure out names of candles and how I was going to put things together with my business. And it's so easy now to just put in a prompt to AI and just be like, these are my thoughts, this is what I'm thinking. And it just gives you endless lists. It's just absolutely endless. It's kind of like the endless scroll. You can get any information at all from AI, and it takes away the research component too, because I'm also a researcher. So I love the researching component of everything. And again, I know that there are obviously some good things that there's so many things that I found out and learned. I've learned different things about like autoimmune conditions that I am experiencing and why I'm feeling certain ways about things. There are so many things that I have learned through AI platforms like ChatGPT. So it's hard for me to sit here because I sound like a hypocrite, but I can't help but also have my opinions like, are we going too far? Is this going to really backfire in the next few years? Because it feels that way, honestly. I mean, I feel like it already has. I know there's like, obviously if you mix AI with like things that have to do with like X-rated things and you know what I'm talking about, like relational things, and that is its own thing. I could imagine that is its own detriment to people. And obviously it's another way for companies to make money, and AI has just absolutely exploded. And honestly, back in 2020, I used to watch certain people that would use like really, really kind of base forms of AI. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting, And now we're still at the dawn of it. So who knows what it's going to be like in the next 5 to 10 years. But I just feel like it's one of those things that we are probably going to look back and be like, wow, there was the time before AI and then after AI, because I'm sure people have already looked at, before technology and after technology. So there's always pros and cons to everything, but I just had to basically say that it's hard not to feel like I'm kind of sick of the whole AI everything. I can spot AI in 2 seconds. I see it in the captions of people's Instagrams everywhere, emails, email titles, everything is AI, YouTube titles. Again, I'm a hypocrite because I've gotten help before from AI, but I've started dialing it back. I'm like, even when I wrote my caption today for my Instagram post, there was a part of me as I was struggling trying to formulate this sentence. It's so easy to just copy it, put it into AI and be like, make this sound better. I've said that so many times. And I told myself, I'm like, no, figure it out. You know how to make this sound better. That actually used to be one of the things that I loved doing so much, was taking information and then making it sound better, is basically what I've always done growing up with essays. And I helped my mom write an essay one time, and I basically just had her, I was asking her questions and wrote down stuff, and then I just organized it and made it sound better. And again, we're just losing that. We're just absolutely losing that because that part of us can just be handled immediately. But what happens if we're somewhere where we don't have our phone, we don't have AI, and we're needing to think critically? And what happens then? Are we just going to not do anything or not exercise our brains at all? Because right now it seems like everybody is just like absorbing all of this information from other people, having everybody else's opinions yelled at you 24/7 through social media. And then anything that's hard at all, that's a challenge or complicated or something that brings you frustration, can just immediately be handled by a artificial piece of technology. So that, to me, that combination, it just seems really not good at all. And I'm just really curious to know what things are looking like for businesses too. And, it's just weird, guys. It's weird. It's weird. I don't know. It's weird. I'm starting to think the whole thing is freaking weird. It's weird. Anyways, my hypocritical self, I'm just saying that because I still will utilize it for things, but I'm starting to be more aware of it and pull myself back and be like, I need to figure this out on my own. I don't have to just go and ask questions to it all the time. So I don't know. Can you relate? Can you relate to the things that I've talked about? I feel like AI is just so weird. It's this weird thing that's been created, and I don't know if it should have been created. So that is all I wanted to say in today's video. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and I will see you in the next one.